It's Facebook Live time. Thursday at 4 p.m. with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. That's me, Melissa Kerman. Welcome. My website, if you want to know, is www.melissascraftingtreehouse.com if you want to find me there. And this is my weekly live, as I said. I go on live every Thursday at 4 p.m., although I may be changing the time. So we'll see. I'm going to allow people to chime in and see whether there's a better time. So wait in just a sec to see people come on. And when you join us, please say your name and where you're from. It's always fun to see where people are from when they're joining on the Facebook Live. So welcome whoever's there. I see somebody. All I see is a number. Hey, it's Amy. Hi, Amy. So glad you're here this week. I know you weren't able to make it last week. So again, chime in and say where you're from and let me know who you are so I know who's here with us. So as usual, I have some the announcements, business updates, that sort of thing. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome. Way up in Oregon. I love Oregon. Did I say that last time? I still do. Anyway, all right, so announcements and, of course, a project demonstration in my little teaser earlier today, reminding you all about the live. I mentioned that I'm going to be doing 3 projects focusing on the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. So it'll be a little bit of a sneak peek into what those tutorials look like. There are 8 that come in the bundle. I'll talk about that just a little bit more in a bit. And I'm also going to announce last week's winners, and I'll have a new giveaway this week. And that's kind of the summary of what we're doing here today. So I'm going to start actually with a tiny little tidbit of personal news because I'm super excited to share this. A little bit shy about sharing it, but I'm going to anyway. So lots of you know I'm a yoga person. I love yoga. It's a way of life. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of being. But that's a subject for another day. But you all know also that I had hip replacement surgery. Hi, Arlene. Welcome. Actually, almost 6 months ago now. It'll be 6 months at the end of March. And they say I should be kind of back to normal by the end of 6 months. Well, I'm definitely feeling better. But some of you know I have managed at 50 plus years of age to learn how to do a handstand in yoga. I haven't been able to do it for months. And part of that, of course, is the surgery and how, the problems I was having before the surgery. But I did it today. Woohoo! So exciting. That's like up on my hands, kicking up, upside down. I love it. Anyway, so that's just my little, I'm celebrating. The other thing that I'm soon to be celebrating is my 16-year anniversary. That's coming up literally next week on March 14th. And I actually think I share a Stampin' Up! Anniversary with Amy, don't I? Amy, chime in and remind me. I'm pretty sure we share that date. So that's super fun. Hi, Carol and Carol. Welcome. Thank you for the congratulations and the hearts. Yay, you know how that makes me happy. Okay, so that's my little bit of personal news. And then on the business front, a couple of quick things. The March Paper Pumpkin Kit marks Stampin' Up's 6-year anniversary of sharing Paper Pumpkin. So they always do something fun, and yes, in your 1 year, yay, Amy, I thought I was right. And 6 years, and included in the March kit is a free stamp set, 8 birthday cards, and some party packaging. And that's kind of pretty much all that I know. But it sounds like a pretty cool kit to buy. If you never bought Paper Pumpkin, it's a great time to try it out because you're going to get something free. What else? There was something else I was going to say about Paper Pumpkin. Now I can't remember. Oh, I know. Okay, and the deadline to sign up is always the 10th of the month. So if you sign up, you have to do it before the 10th. And then if you want to ever drop or unsubscribe, you have to do it by the 10th of the month also for the following month. So that opportunity through March 10th for March Paper Pumpkin. Okay, the other thing I like to remind people about at this time of year, you'll probably hear me say it a bunch of times, is that the 2017-2019 in colors are retiring at the end. Okay, so Anyway, but it is a good time to be thinking about it because I was just doing that because I just got a phone call and I have, that happened to me before, right, where I got a bunch of phone calls. Let's cross my fingers that's not happening again, that I've been hacked. So hopefully it was just one fluke of a call. So if there was a pause in there, that's why. All right, so back to the in colors. So some of them are already on back order. People start ordering them because at the end of May, they go away. And as soon as they go on the retiring list, they pretty much sell out right away. So this is really a good time if you have the ink pads to buy the re-inkers or cardstock or any coordinates. Okay. I just got another phone call. I don't know if I cut out there. So if it happens one more time, it happened again. So I'm going to stop the Facebook Live. I'm going to come back. I hope you guys will come back and join in. I think I've been hacked. I need to go in and check my Facebook account because okay, Facebook Live Part 2. So whoever the guys are that are hacking me, you left a couple comments. Go away! Stop bothering me! This is really annoying. Okay, so here I am back. Hopefully I'm not going to start getting phone calls again. Hi, Amy. I've blocked those callers. I've eliminated a couple of comments that were clearly not paper crafters and blocked them, and we'll see whether we can move forward from here. So crossing my fingers. Welcome back. Those of you who are joining back in, thank you for coming back. Hopefully we're not going to have the same problems again. We'll cross our fingers. Just going with the flow here. So I'm going to continue with my announcements. I was talking about the 2017-19 in colors. Get those items now if you possibly can. Don't wait until May when they're retiring and you won't be able to get them. So that's a little recap of that. So I did do a tip of the week in my newsletter this week, and it was actually based on some of what I showed last week. So last week I showed 4 different household items to create backgrounds with, interesting backgrounds with. So I couldn't help but play some more, so I pulled out some more and created a graphic for 10 different items that you can play with in the way I did in the Facebook Live last week. So it was super fun, and anyway, so I'm excited to share those. And the giveaway last week was to make a card salad out of some of those. And we do have a couple of winners. I'll be announcing those in just a bit. But because I have now created so many more fun pieces to play with, I want to give away more. So that's going to be the focus of this week's giveaway. So last week, I really promised just 1. We didn't reach the milestones to get more, but I'm going to give away 2 this week. And then I'm going to give away, from last week rather, and then I'm going to give away 4 more. So they're super fun. Anyway, if you are not a newsletter subscriber and you want to see my tips each week, definitely subscribe. I will have a link in the description of this Facebook Live video. So you can do that. So if you're interested in getting some of those card salads or one of the card salads with my vocal pieces that I've made, you'll have another opportunity this week. And this week, the hashtag is a little different. It's going to be hashtag repurpose take 2. And I'm going to give away 4 no matter what. So we're not going to have a certain number of viewers on the Facebook Live or on the video for the week. Just giving away the 4, and I'm excited to do that. And then hopefully you'll share what you created, which will be super fun. Okay, so the winners from last week, are you ready? I've got 2 winners. One of them is Carol Salava, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Carol, you are a winner, and I have your address, I believe, so you won't need to provide it for me. Susan Rose is the second winner. So Susan, if you are here on the live or get on later, please message me with your email address. with your mailing address so I can mail you your gift. And those people won the little samplers, the 2 samplers, one of the Stampin' Up! Celebration foil, and then the other was a little sampler of the Painted Seasons designer paper. Yep, got the name right. All right, thank you guys for coming back and commenting and returning for the Facebook Live. So, okay, so I just announced last week's winners. There will be 4 winners for this coming week using the hashtag repurpose take 2. All right. So you also, one other little point of clarification. So a couple weeks ago, I did another giveaway, and people left a hashtag on the YouTube video. And there were some winners from the YouTube video that last time. So I contacted them through YouTube. I haven't heard from any of them. The names of those people are Susan Tipton, Donna Phelps, and Louise Whitford. So if you're watching, I'm going to give you a little bit more time to respond with your address and let me know that you want the little gift, or I'm going to give it away to somebody else. So for future, you have to comment on this Facebook event here in Facebook, not on YouTube, just because it seems like it's a little harder to track people down on YouTube. So that's just one little point of clarification for the giveaways. Okay. Next, so my new free card kits are now the ones available with purchases. So I have a free card kit program, and I do it in 2-month chunks. So I have March, April kits that are the same designs that my clubs make. I have one of my clubs coming tomorrow, well, 2 of them coming tomorrow, I should say, and then another one next Friday. So, and if you want to see a sneak peek of what those projects are, or you want to consider placing an order to get those kits, you can go to the Facebook event. I have a paper crafting event on my Facebook page with sneak peeks of those 3 projects. So you can check those out if you want. Those projects will eventually be shared in blog posts and videos. So just FYI, but if you want to get the kits, you got to place an order. Or, you know, there's some other ways, but you have to be a demonstrator. Okay, so moving right along. Okay, so the focus of today's project demonstration, you may know, is the Simple Sweet Stampers Tutorial Bundle. So that tutorial bundle, I'm collaborating with 7 other demonstrators to create that tutorial bundle. This month's March's tutorial bundle is focused on the Happiness Blooms product suite in the Occasions catalog. Very happy, cheerful colors. So there are 8 tutorials in there, and what I'm going to show you today is 3 of them. I'm actually going to demonstrate those 3 projects in front of you. One of them will be my contribution, and the other 2 will be from the tutorial bundle. So it'll be a great way to get a little sneak peek into what that product suite looks like and see if you might be interested in the tutorial bundle. So there's a couple ways that you can get the tutorial bundle. If you are a newsletter subscriber, you can get the bundle free with a $35 order. If you're not a newsletter subscriber, you can get that free with a $75 order. And I do that in part because when you get to 50, you get my free card kits. So that's a benefit that's coming when you get to $50. And of course, during celebration, you'll also get a free celebration item. So that's super fun. So let's see what else. And let's see, few more little announcements. So this month, celebration ends March 31st. We're most of the way through it. And I just want to throw this out to anybody, okay? Some of you are demonstrators on here and you won't care. But the Starter Kit special this month is amazing. If you have ever spent $99, you can get the starter kit for $99 this month and get $175 of product that you get to pick. So something to consider. And people who are on my team also get the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle every month for free. They don't have to do anything. They're just part of my team, so it's a perk that I offer to them. So it's a great time to consider the starter kit. Let me know if you're interested. Happy to share information with you. There's no long-term commitment or penalty for dropping. So it's a great way to try out the demonstrator experience and all the perks and benefits that are offered to us as demonstrators. Okay. So let's see. Okay, one last announcement, and then we will get to the project demonstrations. And that is, I am contemplating changing the time of this Facebook Live event. Several people have told me that the 4 o'clock time just doesn't work for them, middle of the day, etc. So I'm thinking about doing it on Thursday evening, so it would be the same day, but I would probably do it around 7:30. So I'd love it if you would chime in and say, 4 p.m. is better, 7:30 p.m. is better, or anything else you want to say about the time. I'd love to see those of you that are actually here chiming in, because you're the ones that are here, right? So I'd hope that you'd be able to come at 7:30 as well if I change it. So please comment and let me know. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Moving right along. Almost ready to face the camera down. You guys ready for projects? Okay. So, and when you comment, just say 7:30 works for me, or 4 works for me, or 4 and 7:30 works for me, or either time works for me. Yay, Cheryl. That way I know what you're referring to. That'll just tell me. Okay. So, and by the way, I am Eastern time, so it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. So obviously, you know, you can do the math. So it's 3.5 hours later. All righty. So project demonstration, just looking at my notes, make sure. Okay, so, and just, you know, the sharing giveaway, as a reminder, I'm giving away some of the focal pieces or the background pieces that I made last week. Again, more of them. So use the hashtag repurpose take 2 if you're interested in getting those. I'm going to give away 4 card salad kits, no matter how many people are on this live or watch the replay. I'm giving away, gosh darn it, I want somebody to be able to play with them. Okay, so I am going to face the camera down, and we're going to start with the project demonstration. And meanwhile, leave your comments. Okay, let's see if I can do this gracefully. I'm going to face away from me to start with. So as soon as I start demonstrating, I'm a little bit farther away from the camera, especially if I sit down. So if I'm not loud enough, just let me know. Oh, you want to know what card salads are? Well, it's like little niblets and pieces and parts of projects that I've made in the past that I have not used, and I put those pieces in a baggie with some coordinating cardstock, maybe some ribbon, possibly embellishments, and then it's just like a creative project start. I do it sometimes at some of my events, and my people really love it. So light reflection off the embossing folder. Yes, I know, that's so annoying. All right, thank you so much for telling me, Ellen. So when I'm looking at the comments, I can, you know, obviously see what you guys are saying. But I'll try to look back every once in a while, make sure I don't miss any comments. So I'm going to actually start, and if you have any other questions about card salad, just let me know. But that's the long and the short of it. Lots of people have little pieces and parts, and I just can't stand to throw them away after a creative session, but I can't usually design with everything that I play with. So I'm sure that some of you experience that as well. I've heard from you, some of you, that you do. So, all right, so we're going to start with my project. And again, we're using the Happiness Blooms product suite, and that includes a bunch of different things. Well, so there's ribbon that goes with this suite. There's a stamp set. And then here is some of the embellishments that come with it. This is half a pack because I do my product shares, so I cut them up and I get to keep some of them for myself. Yoo-hoo, I love that. And of course, designer paper. So this is the Happiness Blooms Designer Series paper. And I've cut it up and used some of it, so I ended up with these different size pieces, but this is the back side of that, and so on and so forth, right? So it's really pretty, cheerful paper. So I'm going to be using 3 of them today in the projects today. The one that I'm doing is made with this one. This is one of my favorites, and then I'll show you more with the other projects. So maybe I can leave this so it's visible because it's kind of pretty until it gets in the way. All right. So for my project, I am using this subtle embossing folder. And you guys may know it. It just really creates sort of a textured paper, and I love it. I have done that ahead of time, so you won't need to see me doing that. And I'm also using the Doily Builder Thinlits. Now, I posted some projects a couple of days ago, and they are actually variations of the project I included in the tutorial bundle. And I'll show you all of those eventually, but I'm going to start with showing you the project that was part of the tutorial bundle. It's kind of a bit of a fun fold, if you will. And can everybody see okay? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so this is basically the fold. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to give you any of the dimensions on here, and they're not going to be on my website. And the reason for that is the tutorial bundle is exclusive. So you could probably tell by looking at this what some of the dimensions are, but I feel like because of it's exclusive, I'm really kind of not supposed to share. So if you want the dimensions, of course, you got to get the tutorial bundle. Okay, so anyway, this is basically your card base, and I may throw out some dimensions here and there. This one is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and the 1-inch tab at the end, or the flap at the end. So I've attached my designer paper already, and just to get started, I'm going to attach this flap back, and then I've got a little strip here that's like around 7/8 inches. And so it fits right there on the front. And it's really just kind of a simple fold, but it just kind of makes it fun because you have different colors in there. And then I've got my backing piece. Now I don't have any dimensionals on this side because it's going to be hanging off the edge. Okay, so we're going to actually, I'm going to wait to center that because I have another piece that's going to go on top. Now, this is my textured piece that I've already dry embossed. I put adhesive already on the back. Now, if you ever get sheets like this or your old sheets from your dimensionals, they can really come in handy because if you have, by accident, put adhesive on the back of your piece, but you're not really ready to attach it, you can put it on one of these. It's sort of got a plastic surface and it won't stick to stuff, right? So you can have it in a pile of things and it's not going to stick, or you can put something on the front if you need to. So anyway, these are really handy. This goes with an adhesive roll that I have, and of course, like I said, there's other ones like this one right here that came with my foam strips, the foam strips that you use for what is it, for making like a shaker card or something. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. All right, so I see, Kathleen, you have a question. What's the name of the tutorial bundle? It's the Simple Sweet Stampers Tutorial Bundle. And again, if you decide to join and buy the starter kit, you will get that every month for free. You won't have to do anything. It will be uploaded to the team Facebook page. And I only say that because we've had a conversation about joining. So join, Kathleen. It's an awesome thing. All right, so got my adhesive on there. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my backing, and I have kind of a thin backing here. A lot of times, instead of making an 1/8 inch edge there, I like to do more like a 3/16 inch edge. I'm kind of a detail girl, but sometimes that edge is just a little bit too big if it's 1/8 of an inch, and that's just my personal preference. Okay, so now I've got my ribbon, and that's going to get tied to the bottom. Now with all three of these projects, I've tried to do a couple of the steps ahead just so that we won't be here all day, and you guys don't need to see me attaching all kinds of things. I am going to tie on my ribbon. Now when I tie my ribbon, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see? Is it close enough? Hopefully. I actually let the paper bow a little bit, and that's because after I do the tie, it's going to sort of release naturally when I remove my finger. And that makes sure that it's nice and tight. So it released, but because it was bowed, but because it has to release a little bit when you let go of your finger, it's just the right amount of tension on there. So now I'm going to bend it a little bit so that I can slide it. You see how I can slide it, which is pretty nifty. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And then I like to put my finger right on the knot so I can pull my tails down and train them. I'm training my tails. Do you guys train your tails? Okay, so here we go. Snipping that off. I also like to hold the end, which is hard to do when it's this side because I have to cut with I have to hold the scissors with my right hand. Okay. It helps to have a little bit of tension on the ribbon when you're cutting it to get a nice clean cut. Okay, so there we go. There's my piece, and I'm going to wait to attach it because I have another step to do. So I'm going to use my, what is this called? Silicone mat. And I'm going to use that to do my adhering. Because these are so delicate, I am going to put glue on the back side, and I'm going to use, you can use a sponge or a sponge dauber. This one is, we'll see how well that works. It's kind of not really spongy anymore, but it is a gluey surface that I can pick some glue up with. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. Just put some in this accessory lid. And then I don't want it to be too thick. I don't want to have too much on here because it'll just get messy. So I'm going to kind of pull it away, dab it. So I just have a little bit on the surface there. And then the tricky part is really just holding this down. So when you put the adhesive on, it doesn't move, because if it moves, it'll get on the front of your little doily. Now we do also have, they're like adhesive sheets, and I actually own some and I've never used them, but they would probably be perfect for this particular project, because then you wouldn't have to do this annoying step right here. Okay, so I mean it works, it just, you know, you just don't want to get adhesive on the front. I got a little bit on there. It'll dry clear for the most part, but it's still, you know, just a little bit messy with the adhesive, the glue. So comment if you've used those adhesive, what is it called? Adhesive sheets, I guess they are, because you would run it through the Big Shot with an adhesive sheet in behind, and you'd have adhesive all over this and you wouldn't have to do the gluing that I just did. So, but then there's adhesive all over and it's nice and flat on there. Works perfectly. And then, now this little piece, it's the cutout obviously from this, just I did it with a different color, but it does, there's a certain way that it fits in. Like that actually looks pretty right. But if you put it in certain orientations like here, you can tell it just doesn't, it's not how it was cut out. So I kind of mess around. Okay, so that looks perfect. I don't know if you guys could see the little, how it wasn't exactly matching up perfectly. Now if it doesn't match up perfectly, it's no big deal. But it's kind of nice if it does. So I'm just gonna kind of go like this. Since I have the glue out anyway, why not? And then I know exactly where it's going back in. Tack it down. Okay, so now my little center, this is Calypso Coral, and I am going to put one of these mini dimensionals on there, and these come in handy exactly for this type of project. I'm putting it right in the center of this really delicate doily. Does anybody else have these doilies? I love them. I think they're so fun. This is actually the first project I've played with them, and I have done at least one other thing since, sort of a spin-off of this project, but in the foils. Woohoo! Can't wait to share that one. Coming soon. Oh, I see, Amy, you have the adhesive sheets, but you've never used them either. I keep forgetting about them too, and then, you know, it's like, wait a minute, why am I forgetting about them? They would be so handy. All right, so there's my little doily that's going in the center, and you can see the adhesive through the front, and that is just not going to do. But I have a plan, and that plan is to use one of these lovely gems, the faceted gems. As you can see, one of my favorite things to do is to color those gems. You see I have a few right there. That one's done with actually a Sharpie, and that one's done with Bermuda Bay, I believe, something I was playing with. Now for this one, I'm going to actually use my dark Calypso Coral alcohol marker, my Blends alcohol marker, and I like to color it on here, not on there, because otherwise I might get it where it doesn't, where I don't want it. So I'm just going to do it right on this sheet, and these just work beautifully on the embellishments. You can also use your blends on ribbon, on rhinestones, but I love it on these gems. One of the designs that I did in a different color scheme, I'm going to show you those in a bit, used Night of Navy on one of these gems, and oh my gosh, is it beautiful. It is just, it's just to die for. It's so beautiful. Okay, so that's going to go right there in the center. I'm almost done with this card. Mine is actually probably the most time consuming, I think. Surprise, surprise. Gotta laugh at myself. Okay, so I just got a few more little things to do. What am I doing? Getting confused where I'm going. Okay, so this is just gonna get attached onto the front. And you remember, no dimensionals on this side so that it doesn't stick and close the card permanently. That wouldn't be very fun, would it? Okay, see. Okay, they're all on there. And then I'm just going to center that on. And I do have one little additional element on this, but guess what? I don't have to do it in front of you. I can just show you my finished card, okay? So there's my finished card. So I just added a couple of these cute little, I don't know what they're called, the Happiness Blooms embellishments onto the corners just to add a little extra touch of color and frame that focal piece. So I love it. It's like my favorite. Gotta love what you do, right? Okay, so that is my card. That is my card from the Happiness Blooms tutorial bundle. Okay, so I'm going to show you the other ones that I made, and these are just, they're fun. They're just fun. So this one, of course, different color scheme, different centers. I had so much fun cutting out these doilies and playing. Next one, this one right here. Oh, I see you've used the adhesive sheets with the Adirondack chair. Good, that's good. That's a very detailed little piece there. Okay, so there's the next one. And this one is another one of the patterns from the paper. You can see how it kind of corresponds with the papers. I've chosen my favorites. This is definitely one of my favorites. And this one just has a plain clear faceted gem and the different ribbon. And then this one is the one I was talking about with the blue. Can you see that blue? The blue gem? Isn't it so pretty? It's even prettier in person, I promise. It always is. So those are my fun cards. So the tutorial bundle has this project in it. And then these are my other ones. These are also on my website. I published them. When did I publish them? Earlier this week, I think. The dimensions are not there because they're the same dimensions as the tutorial bundle. So as I mentioned before, I'm not including them for that reason. And I hope you don't hate me for that. Okay, so moving right along. You guys ready for the next project? Okay, I'm going to assume you are. Okay, where am I? Looking for my garbage pail. Gotta have a clean workspace. Alrighty, so project number 2. So this one uses the rectangle stitched framelits. I've used this shape to cut out my frame. And now I will say that with this tutorial bundle, I do not own the stamp set that goes with this suite. I own all the consumables because I do my product shares. So when I was doing these projects, these other two, I had to modify them to fit the things that I had. So this, and clearly some other people did too, because the person who did this one is Tara Stay. She's one of the fellow design team members for the tutorial bundle. And so she used this big image right here, and it's really a beautiful card. Let's see, but I mixed it up just a little bit because I just had to. I chose a different designer paper to use for my background piece. And so I kept some of the elements the same, and this is actually one of the neat things about a tutorial bundle like this, or any project that you see on Pinterest or anywhere. You can take the basic design, adjust it just slightly, and then, oh, I see your blue is your favorite. That's awesome. It is the simplest, one of the simplest ones. The monochromatic designs are just a little simpler. Anyway, so you can adjust any card that you see, fine-tune it to fit what you own and what inspires you. So that's what I did with these two projects. And no doubt, if you were to get the tutorial bundle, you'd be in the same position. You wouldn't have exactly the supplies that the person who designed the tutorial did. So, so I chose to use this designer paper. I think the person who did the bundle, she did this one, which is a little bit busy for my taste. I wanted something just a little bit sort of calmer, if you will, and more regular, I guess. So I chose this one. I did the focal piece exactly how she did it, just changed a few little things. So now I did the focal piece in two different ways. So This one is done the way she did it, and it's stamped in the Night of Navy and then colored with the Blends alcohol markers, and I used 4 of them. So I'm going to just do one letter. Now this one is done with the Memento Black. And I know you can use Memento Black with the Blends alcohol markers, but I didn't know that you could actually do it with Night of Navy or with a regular classic ink. I thought maybe it would bleed, which is why I did the black. In the end, I actually think I like it just the way the original designer made it with the navy. So I'm just going to do one of these letters just in case you need a little refresher on how to use the Blends alcohol markers. So I'm starting, I have the combination of Night of Navy, the light and the dark, and the balmy blue. And I'm just going to come in and do just the tiniest little bit of the darkest color on the bottom. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm using the finer tip, or the nubbier tip, as you can see. A little bit of the light Night of Navy. And then the dark balmy blue. You can see when I just put the colors down as is, it looks very linear. You can see the lines between the colors. So I'm going to go back and do some blending, and that's the beauty of the blends, of course. So I'm going to take my light balmy blue, and I'm going to go over where the two meet. I know this might be hard to see. Okay, and hold on a second. I'm just noticing that my phone is saying low power mode, and we don't want to run out of battery while I'm on here. So I'm going to plug me in. Alrighty, hopefully that's going to do it. Okay, so I've got my light balmy blue going over that little edge right there. And then I'm going to go back with my color lifter and blur some of those lines a little bit. It's a very small space I'm working in here, so there's not a lot of room. But and then I'm going to use the color lifter all the way up, sort of trying to draw some of that light blue up to make that transition a little bit better, so it's not a straight line. So that's basically the gist of it, and I did, of course, the rest on all the letters in there. And then, where's the other piece? Yeah, so then there's these little image, which is also in this set, the Amazing Life set. And I have colored that one completely. And you can see on this one, now this one is done on the black, and the ones that I'm going to use were done on the blue, and those are already done as I drop it. So yes, those are fussy cut, which is not always my first choice of activity, but it comes out really pretty. So anyway, these are done on the black. And if you look at the two of them next to each other, you can barely tell. This is stamped in the navy, this is stamped in the Memento Black. But what you can tell the difference between, I hope, is between this one and this one. So this one is blended, and this one is not. This one I just did my Night of Navy in the middle, the dark, the light Night of Navy outside of that, and then I did the dark balmy blue at that side layer, at the outside layer. And now all I need to do is the light balmy blue and the light granny apple green. So I've got the dark granny apple green already in there. And since you just saw me do it on a letter, I'm not going to do it again, but you get the idea, right? So you want to just blend the colors, because there's a big difference between this, and it looks a lot nicer when it's blended. So that's my little lesson on on the blends. Okay, so the other thing that is in this tutorial is stamping of that same image in Versamark on the Night of Navy and heat embossed with white embossing powder. I've done most of my cutting here, but again, this was fussy cut. And I've even done some of it, done most of it, just because you guys don't need to sit here and watch me see me doing all this cutting, do you? So there you go. Yay, it's done. Okay, so now I am going to put it on dimensionals, and I think I'm going to use my little itty bitty dimensionals. So I'm going to put this one aside, and all I really have to do is my assembly. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my focal piece, and I'm sure you guys can pretty much tell how this is coming together. You can see this is the shape that I did with the stitched rectangular stitched shapes framelets. That's a mouthful. Okay. And then I have put this on dimensionals. Sometimes I like to call myself the dimensional queen. I should call myself the dimensional and texture queen. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, you didn't know that you could use the blends with classic ink either. Well, there you go. We both learned something new. We could say thank you to Tara, the designer of this project. She taught me something new. Okay, so, or maybe us. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that right there in the center. So there's most of it done. Put a few of these itty bitty dimensionals on the back, and I don't have one of these finished, so I do want to finish it up and show you guys. Now if you do end up doing this on this kind of element where you're cutting it out, this actually, you know, the L on the life kind of sticks up into the banner, so when you cut it, you actually have to cut a little notch there, so that you don't cut off the top of the L. Okay, almost done. And then I'm just going to stick my little embellishments in the corners. And let's see. I'm either going to use glue dots or dimensionals. Let's see, what do we want to do? I don't know. Might have to do dimensionals on one of them. I think I do. Get my position just right. Okay. A dimensional on the bottom one. That's what I'll do. Okay, you guys remembering to do your hashtag if you're wanting the my card salad? Okay, I'm fussing. This is what I do. I fuss. How should I orient it? Gotta make it look the way I want it. Okay, it's down. And this one I'm going to just do with glue dots. Okay, so there we go. And then there's one other little touch, and that is, these little embellishments. I'm just going to put one of the blue ones in the center, and I'm thinking, do I want medium or do I want small? This is what I do when I'm on my own. I think I'm going to do small because it's just a small little flower. It's so pretty. I love it. Thank you, Tara. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. I printed out her sheet. So the difference, right? Basically the same card, and I just used a different designer paper. And what did I do this different? All I did was use the navy instead of the yellow to go with my cardstock, with my designer paper. So there is project number 2, and I love it. I love it, I love it. And it was so easy because I had a great starting place to just adjust a little bit as I liked it. Okay, so what's next? Project number 3. This is probably the quickest one of the 3. I changed things up a bit because, of course, I didn't have exactly the same thing that the creator did. This project was done by Raquel Booth. I think that's how you pronounce it. For this one, I'm using the Layering Circles framelits. Using framelits for all of these. Using the Incredible Like You set. And so I've done like a good fraction of this. So this is going to be a real quick one. So I used my card body here, created my card body. This is Lemon Lime Twist. This is one of the retiring 2017-19 in colors. It's probably my favorite of the whole set. It's just like a chameleon color. It kind of goes with everything. So I've just got to strip down the front. That is the Calypso Coral. And the one thing I did change on this one, I changed the color scheme completely. Again, really because I wanted to... well, because I had a different focal piece for my stamped image, and it kind of just didn't go with the sort of strong designer paper in the background. So I'm just realizing that I need a piece of scratch paper under me, because I'm going to do a little stamping. I haven't done any stamping yet, have I? Did all the stamping ahead. Okay, so let's get me into the field of vision where you guys can actually see. All right, some ink pads. So this is the simplest, but I'm doing stamping, so it might actually take me a little longer. Okay, so I am gonna start with stamping my sentiment at the top. I Just Adore You from this set. And make sure I'm facing up. Now, when I was playing around with what to put on here, the images just ended up sort of looking like the foliage underneath like lily pads. So I'm using both of the images in the set that are, you know, I don't even know what those are. Foliage of some kind, plant matter. They look sort of like seaweed to me. But anyway, so I'm taking the solid image and I'm going to stamp it off. And I'm kind of just creating a bed of green. So that image is stamped off. And I'm not going all the way to the bottom. And then I'm going to use the second image, the more solid top layer. And I'm going to do that full ink. And I'm going to do the same number of times. And I'm going to try to get that color in there, okay? So I'm doing this 4 times as well. And boy, that was kind of wonky, isn't it? I don't have a very flat lily pad, do I? Okay, we're gonna make it flat. We're gonna make it even. We're gonna make it look natural. Oh my goodness gracious. It's okay, it's all good. Lily pads. Okay, so so stay with me here. Like, that doesn't look like lily pads. What are you talking about? All right, so the last thing I'm gonna use is my lovely lipstick. And this is actually also retiring. This is one of the in colors, the 2017-19 in colors. And I'm using this cute little flower right here. And this is the flower that actually made me think of the lily when I was playing with this. So I'm going to put a few little lilies in my greenery. So I'm envisioning this to be like a pond. And maybe some of you who are playing with the what is it called? The frog set? What is it called? So Hoppy Together. Might see some frogs in the lily pads. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Okay, so what else? Okay, so that's really my little focal piece. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to mount it on a piece of the Calypso Coral. And of course, I've got it done right there. So I'm just going to do the one that I finished. And then I've cut a couple of banner pieces. So now I'm trying to remember the sizes. Lipstick is not retiring. Oh, it's 2018-20? Really? Is it? Oh, okay, maybe. Oh, you know what? It's just, okay, thank you. Thank you for the correction. Very good. Okay, so hi, Patty Bennett. Welcome. I've cut these banners. This one is the petal pink, and this is one of the patterns in the Happiness Bloom set. So it's right there, the back side of this one. And I've layered them on each other. This I think is 2 1/4. That is 2 1/2, I believe. I actually use slightly different dimensions from the tutorial. And now I'm just going to put this together. So I've already put my dimensionals on the back side. I'm just going to attach it to the front of my card. And then I've got a couple of quick additional things to do. And we're all done with this card. Okay. More dimensionals to remove. True to my name, I'm a dimensional queen. Alrighty, so I got that. And then I actually tied a little mini bow, a little air bow with doubled up white baker's twine. And I'm going to put glue dot on that and attach it. I kind of went back and forth as to whether I liked this, but I think in the end I do. And then I've got one other little detail. So that's going to go up there in the upper left-hand corner. And then I'm going to bring in those lovely little embellishments again. And I'm going to put a few embellishments in the lower right-hand corner. So you can see here I've used, of course, the lemon lime twist. I'm remembering that right? Yeah, lemon lime twist. Petal pink, calypso coral, and I've also got the lovely lipstick in there and the flowers, but there's nowhere else on here that has lovely lipstick. So the original design had a couple of these little embellishments in there, so guess what color I'm using? Lovely lipstick. Just want to tie it all together. I'm going to use the middle size. Just put them down there in that lower right-hand corner. And there's my card. Yay! Thank you, Raquel. So again, I adapted this based upon what I owned. I didn't own the Happiness Bloom set, but I want to show you the tutorial design, the original design. So as you can see, that color didn't quite go with my delicate images, at least it didn't to me. So I picked a different designer paper, and guess what? It kind of like changed a little bit, and my little ribbon didn't quite fit down there because it didn't fill right in the lily pads. So I put it up in the upper left-hand corner, but other than that, there you go. So there are my 3 projects for today. I will have photographs of these on my website, but again, because the dimensions are exclusive to the tutorial bundle, I won't have the dimensions on there, but you could probably figure them out. So I'm going to turn the camera back, a couple of quick reminders and last minute things, and then we'll finish up. Okay, so I'm turning. Okay. And the close-up look of me. Hi. Okay, so just to finish up, I gotta get that light out of my eyes. All right, so thank you guys all for being here. I hope you liked the projects. So fun to show them and to take the tutorials and make them my own. And I'm sure you guys do that all the time as well. So again, the tutorial bundle you can get for free with $35 order through my online store if you're a newsletter subscriber. If you're not, it's available with a $75 order free through my online store, and my team members get it for free every month. So they come out each month, each focused on a different product suite. So let's see. So leave a comment and tell me what you think about the product suites in the catalog. So this project and all the tutorial bundles are based on a given product suite. You guys know I love suites because I do my Taste of a Suite product shares whenever a new catalog comes out. But I want to know, does it help you design? It helps me. So like in these projects, it really helped me. I used the embellishments, the ribbon, the designer paper, and it all goes together, even if you don't have the stamp set. So comment and let me know what you think. Okay, so the next Facebook Live will be next Thursday the 14th. My actual Stampin' Up! Anniversary, 16 years, woohoo! And I have something fun planned, and I want to challenge you guys. So don't leave yet. I have just a quick little challenge. So last year at this time, I hit 15 years. I got a bonus when I hit 15 years with Stampin' Up! Don't get one at 16, but that's okay. It's still exciting to celebrate. But I did a series of 3 weeks of a rewind redo project. That's what I called it. So I pulled out something that I had made way back when I first joined and remade it. So I'm going to invite you to do the same thing. I want you to go back into your stores, find some old card that you made years ago that you want to remake, maybe improve because you've grown as a crafter. And if you do that, you will be more prepared for the challenge and my giveaway next week. And I am going to do a bigger giveaway next week because it's my anniversary. So I'm super excited about that. And I may even do a rewind redo for the following week too, just if people like it, because it was so much fun last year when I did it. And I think people really enjoyed it too. It was kind of a little bit of my Facebook Live debut because I really started being a little bit more consistent with Facebook Lives starting with my 15-year anniversary. So yay to 16 years. So hope you'll take the challenge. Comment if you plan to do it. No commitment. I won't come hunt you down if you don't, but comment and go find those cool samples. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll come back next week. And if you're watching the replay, yay. Comment on the Facebook event if you want to be entered in for my drawing. And again, the hashtag repurpose take 2. I'm giving away card salads. If you don't know what those are, I explained a little bit earlier in the video and have explained it in previous videos. It's kind of a project, creative project jumpstart. So have a wonderful week, everybody, and happy crafting. Mwah!